right, excellent afternoon, viewers. If you are one of the school of thought that the basic skills of literacy, numeracy, science, and other academic competencies are the only skills to thrive and survive in today's fast and dynamic world, I think you will have a change of mind after today's episode. Welcome to Real Talk with Kike, the show where conversations are real. But before I go further, I think it's important for me to use this time out to wish all the Muslim faithfuls out all over the world Ramadan Kareem. I'm Kike Atanda-Owo, and I'm here today with my exciting co-host. Let me start from Marshall. I missed Marshall because he wasn't right there with us at our retreat. How are you doing today?
I'm on a court sale. I wasn't there. Yes,
you can say that again.
Yes, hey, I was head buried in moving house, and it's been a very, very hectic. But yeah, well, thank God it's all done and dusted.
You're here.
I hope you guys had fun. For our viewers, I want to say welcome to the show. It's Real Talk with Kike. Yes. Kike, you look good. You look beautiful.
Oh, thank you. They've been complimenting me all along. They've been complimenting me.
Fantastic hairdo. And you said you've not braided in 15 years.
I was waiting for you to chip it in.
I can't wrap my head around it.
Oh, yeah, I've not braided my hair in 15 years. But I'm beginning to love this look. I think it's something that I have to repeat the pattern. All right, guys, enough of me. All right, before we go further, I think it's important
you
for
left
us to
me
listen
out.
to... Oh, no! F4 in the building! The great A in the building! How you doing? Apologies.
I'm good. Not a problem. You're excited about your braids. So
and I'm excited seeing my Marshall on the platform.
I know, the chief husband.
I'm blushing.
You know. Marshall, welcome. It's good to see you again.
Same here.
All right, so guys, let's start off today's episode from on this day in history. We'll be right back.
For the tea.
On this day in history, 11 years ago, exactly 13th of April 2012, Nigeria's anti-corruption agency sought the arrest of Chief James Ibori, a former governor of the oil-rich Delta State from 1999 to 2007. Suspected of siphoning off millions of dollars of state assets, hundreds of Nigerian youth rallied in the commercial capital, Lagos, demanding acting President Goodluck Jonathan implement much-needed electoral reforms to ensure credible national polls next year.
All right, on this day in history, looking at what we just heard, I cannot help but call Nigerians hypocrites. And it's based on when somebody is on the wrong path. I do not understand why we create excuses and feel that, oh, that person can be pardoned or that person can get away with certain things. A lot of people know who James Ibori is and what some of his wrongdoings have been in this country. Masha, but let me give you the open floor. What do you have to say on this day in history when it comes to Ibori's?
I would agree with you, not in totality, not in the caption of, I'm not sure I want to call Nigerians hypocrites for fear of being called out on social media, but also objectively speaking, yes, that's what it is. It's hypocrisy when you have leaders who have siphoned government funds and then they are jailed, and then you see how Nigerians clamored for his release, begging for their own
during
son.
Jonathan's
in his regime to be released. And then now we have the controversy of £4.2 million that is being repatriated by United Kingdom, Delta State versus FG, trying to lay claims to this.
Who does the money belong to?
Yeah,
that's all we're saying. Well, for me, I think it should be a case of calling a spade a spade. If you do the crime, then you do the time. And that's exactly what he did out there in the UK. But it was funny how that he came back home and he was heralded like a king.
Celebrated. I remember many years ago.
I mean, that's a sad part of our history. It shouldn't be. But I don't know why we're the way we are, but it is what it is.
I still don't understand the moral of today's content on this day in history, but before we get into discussion for today, it's important for us to take a message from our sponsors. Please stay with us. Welcome back. Apart from the usual academic skills, other skills such as teamwork, critical thinking, good communication, creativity, among other skills are, proven to be must-haves in today's world. The world has, we knew it, changed rapidly in the coming of the COVID-19 pandemic. And the workplace witnessed job losses, rearrangement of business structures, and some roles were rendered redundant. No doubt, it surely rearranged the world, but taught one vital lesson: skills advancement. The need for men and women to advance in their skills is now important more than ever. On the program today, we have a career coach, a LinkedIn visibility expert, Dr. Gloria Edozien, to discuss the topic skills advancement in today's changing world. But first, let's take a quick look at a profile. All right, welcome back. Inspired by Glory, 9 to 5 Chic. These are channels through which our guest helps women to position themselves for greater opportunities in the work environment. It's nice to have you in the studio. Dr. Glory Edozien. Yeah. I was telling my co-host I have to give you a new name, Glory. I don't know where I'm seeing the RIA. I'm not calling you Glory. How are you doing today? Many thanks for sharing part of your lunchtime with us.
Thank you for having me. I'm super excited to be here.
Really?
Good. So let's just go straight to the topic at time, because how does the visibility comes to play and the importance on the professional recruitment websites such as LinkedIn, knowing that that is your field, that is where Gloria is really playing the game right now?
So visibility is all about being known by the right people, right? So imagine if you didn't know all the popular brands you knew today, would you use them? So it's the same thing. If you're looking to be found, if you're looking for special career opportunities, especially like on LinkedIn, where you have global executives, global CEOs, global counterparts, if you're not on LinkedIn, you're really shooting yourself in the foot in terms of attracting opportunities for your career.
All right.
Okay. You're welcome, Gloria.
Thank you.
Good to see you. I think you're really gorgeous.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Hey, thank you.
Okay, for me, I want to ask, as a career coach, how did it all begin? Why did you choose that path? There has to be a story behind it.
There is a story, and I'm wondering where the coffee, the wine is, because it's a long story. But okay, no, on a more serious note, right? Okay. For me, growing up in my 20s, I suffered from severe lack of confidence. And I got to the point in my life where I actually contemplated committing suicide because I didn't want to be Glory anymore. I didn't want to be myself anymore. And I went through a journey of self-discovery. And I found out that all the talents I'm using today are things that were hidden in me, but I just hadn't owned those accomplishments. So for me, right now, what it's about is showing women that you are amazing. You have the permission to shine. And through doing that, I started to see gaps that other women that were like me that needed to showcase, their brilliance to the world. And that's why I became a coach, so that no other woman would ever feel the way I felt. And I could help women to, achieve their goals through being visible, through owning their confidence.
Fantastic. Good to hear this. I'm sure there's still more to that, just putting everything in summary. But talk us through it practically. How has your life mirrored into the lives of all the ladies you've coached? Talk us through practically how you've been able to do that.
Okay, so I'll give you a practical example. I was coaching a young lady the other day, and she was telling me about how, she felt like her life wasn't, she's doing a lot of great work, but she can't see it. And this was me back then, right? I had all these skills, but I couldn't see it because I was comparing myself to other people. So this lady as well, she's comparing herself to her colleagues at work. She's trying to be like other people instead of stopping and saying, who am I? What do I want to do? Who do I want to be? And then creating the strategies to showcase that. And a lot of times, a lot of women I work with, what happens with them is that they start to see the amazing work that they've been doing, that they've been taking for granted. Because these skills come so easily to you, you discount them. You think that, is it not just this? Is it not just interview people? Anybody can do that. But it's a specialist skill, right? Sure. So helping people to see that. And then once you are able to see that, you realize that you have value. That you don't have to be like X, Y, and Z, that you have something to give. And so that's how it mirrors that.
All right. Many thanks for that, Glory. You know, listening to you, I cannot help but ask, because I know you're an expert with gaining visibility on LinkedIn and other professional platforms. You know, what are the challenges, you know, to visibility for job seekers and professional platform, and how do you help to overcome them? Because I know that there are quite a number of challenges that people face, especially those who have what's it called, the qualification, and yet they are not gaining that visibility.
I think the major challenge is we've been taught, especially as women, we've been taught that you shouldn't toot your own horn, right? My work will speak for me. But what I tell people is that the only thing that has a mouth is you.
Yeah.
So do the great work, but let people know that you did the great work. So that's the first challenge. So getting rid of this mindset that other people should talk about my work, other people should talk about my accomplishments. So what I let people know is, if everybody here is talking about their own accomplishments, who will have time to talk about my own?
Exactly.
Visibility is just as important as doing the work. That's the first step. The next step is then the know-how, right? Because there is a wrong way to be visible, and there is a right way to be visible. And I always tell people, visibility is not about fame. It's about being known by the right people in the right way who can give you the right opportunities, right? So the next step is now the know-how.
Interesting. Therefore,
That's more like you're speaking about being in the right circles, you know, the right sphere of people. So that now brings me to identifying the gaps that you talked about. How do you go about identifying the gaps, and how do you bridge those gaps? Because I'm really interested in that, and I'm sure the viewers want to hear that.
I think that's an excellent question, the gaps. The first gap is to say, what do I want to be known for? So a lot of times we are working day to day. We're coming into work, we are working so much in our career, we haven't started working on. We're not started being strategic. So saying to yourself, what do I want to be known for? What is my next level goal? So for example, let's say my next level goal is I want to be a broadcaster on CNN, for example, right? Who has done what you have done? What you want to do. Yes. And then where do they go? So I was talking to a friend yesterday, and she was like, you know, I'm trying to find customers for my business, blah, 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 blah. I was like, who is an ideal customer? She mentioned that person. I said, what organizations does she belong to? What networks does she belong to? Go there. So that's the first thing. Go where the people who have achieved the things you want to achieve go. Because when you are there, you will not only find those people, you will find other people as well who are trying to become like that. And then iron will start to sharpen iron. You will start to get the information you need. Most importantly, you will start to see the pathways, the models for success, the visibility secrets in your industry.
Wow.
That's the thing.
Wow. That's very interesting.
Interesting, very interesting. But you know, when I hear ladies like you talk, and it's all about, you know, it's more tilted towards the ladies. You know, it sounds more feminist, and it leaves me in a place where I want to talk for the brothers out there to say, where in all of this do we have a place?
I think guys have a place, but I think you have a place. I think the issue is that you've taken up all the places. And women are trying to find out.
That was the issue I had with Mother's Day, International Women's Day, and all the women thing. And then here we have a woman who is impacting so much in the lives of women.
No, but I do have male people that I coach that are men. So it's not. But then also you have Father's Day, you have International Men's Day. So yes, it's in November.
They say it's not enough, that they only have one
that
Father's Day.
women have the whole month of March,
you know,
to
not just the
celebrate.
whole month of March. Mother's Day like up to 10, 12 times in a year.
Anyway,
Yeah, no.
let me hear a part of the answer.
No, so I think that there are a lot of spaces for men, and I think the issue here is the reason why there's a lot of emphasis on women right now is because of issues around gender parity. If you look right now at sort of the workforce, you know, there is a gender gap. You have a lot more, especially at board level, you have a lot more male representation than you do women representation. And when you look at Nigeria, where we are almost half of the population, or if not just slightly a bit more, you know, it's not economic justice to have one side of the population having all the opportunities. So I think that is, you know, feminism for me, I'm a feminist, a proud feminist, and it's about equal opportunities for the sexes, you know. So I don't know, I hope that was the answer you were expecting me to give, but that's my answer nonetheless.
All right, talking about feminists, I know that we are going to hold you down for our trending story because you're joining us for that. But before we go for that, it's important for us to go on a quick break to get a message from our sponsors. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back. Glad to know you're still right there with us. You know, in case you just joined the show, we have been having an awesome conversation with Dr. Glory Edozien. Can you guys listen to how I emphasize the name? A career coach and the lead consultant and inspired by Glory. Don't forget that you can be part of this conversation by making comments on our social media platform, Our Talk with Kike on Twitter page, and of course our Real Talk with Kike page on Instagram. And it's showing on the screen right now. And we are also streaming live on YouTube, so you can subscribe to our YouTube page, Real Talk with Kike. And of course, we are also live on our Facebook page. So the number to call is 080-988-77400. The number is on your screen right now. So coming back to you right now, I know that you can have a poor CV and have a good visibility. And still, you can have a good or a strong CV and have poor visibility. So what should professionals be more particular about when they are looking for the right person to employ?
And they find the balance.
So I think the way I would say that is you should prioritize communication. How are you communicating your brand on social media, and then also the other tools for communication that you have? For example, there's no point me coming here dazzling you and then you say to me, oh, send me your bio, I want to recommend you for this opportunity, and I don't have a bio. And I start scrambling and I start putting together, and then what I send to you does not do justice to the person that you have seen in front of you. So you need to sit down and think, how do I want to communicate my brand? What are the vehicles and channels I want to use to communicate my brand? What are the vehicles and channels other people in my sector use to communicate my brand? So communicate their brand. So that's the first thing. Understanding how do you want to communicate your brand, making sure that your CV, you are using the right skills. So for example, if you're a journalist, right, it's not just about talking about, oh, how many people you interviewed. What are the skills? So maybe it's digital marketing, you know, digital journalism. What are the key skills that should be on your CV?
What about for those who sometimes struggle to even update their resumes or even their bio? Because there are times that some people can send you their bio. Does it mean that the organization takes further research into their hands to say that, you know what, I want to go further to check on what Marshall represents today?
No, it is Marshall's responsibility to put his best foot forward. It's your responsibility. So if you don't have the time for it, you don't know how to, hire a coach. Hire a coach. I don't even do CV review, so it's not like I'm marketing myself. But, you know, there are people that this is what they do. They wake up, they breathe communication. They are professionals. You are a professional maybe in digital marketing. Give someone that is professional in CV writing to do your CV for you, you know?
That's nice.
Another thing, when you're talking about hiring a coach, I'm like, you know, you have charlatans everywhere. Do you have a directory? And if you don't already have a directory for the coaches people should go to, don't you think it's about time you put that together so that people know who to go to?
So there are different coaches for different things. So this idea of charlatanism and all of that, I just want to speak to that really quickly. Sometimes you need to find out what the rapport is with the coach, right? Okay. So for example, for me, I do a discovery call and then be clear on what you want to achieve. So some people, they'll come to you, they want to achieve X and Y, but the coach that you are meeting doesn't have results in that area. So you also do your research. Now, in terms of a registry, there's something called the International Coaching Federation, and Nigeria has a chapter, and they have a list of accredited coaches. So you can also go there as well.
Okay.
You know, we talked about, you just came off talking about resume and all, and having someone who, you have these people who, like you said, eat and breathe, you know, resume and communication. And going to them. But we are in a world today where people push more for skills than the CV and the job, you know, going to seek a job. Can you marry the two? Can you help us strike a balance between, oh, I need to focus on acquiring this skill and I also need to get a job? Where does the balance come between the two?
So the balance comes in terms of what is required to access this job, right? So you cannot say, I want to be a fisherman, and you don't have a net. Do you understand? So what are the tools to acquire this job? So for example, let's say you're trying to get promoted in your company, for example. What are the skills that are required to access this job? Then you now go and say, okay, where are my gaps? So you know, we were talking about gaps earlier. What are the things that I don't have at the moment? Then you can now go and do professional, you know, qualifications in those skills. But then put it in your CV, because when people ask for your CV, that's a channel of communication. Nobody is going to come and wake you up in your room and say, oh, have you done this leadership thing, blah, blah, blah. So make sure you have the skill, but you are communicating that you have it as well. It's very important.
Interesting. Many thanks for that submission. You know, I still cannot help to still stay on these skills, because I know skills get us jobs and entrepreneurship creates jobs, you know. So skills acquisition, how would I put it now? Yeah, acquisition or entrepreneurship is a different ballgame entirely. So which way do we go, and what's more necessary, you know, for Nigerians at the moment?
The CEOs of the employees.
This is like a chicken and egg situation.
Yes, it is.
Because if all of us have jobs, if all of us are looking for a job, who will employ us? And if everybody's employed, who will work for the company? So I'm somebody, I worked for 16 years before I started my own company. What I would advise people to do is follow your own dream, right? There is nothing, as an entrepreneur, I'm still wishing that somebody at the 24th of every month, there was somebody that was paying something into my account, you know, all of that, so I could just quickly do leave and all of that. I don't have that luxury anymore. So no matter what side of the fence you go to, there are challenges. So I don't think one side of the fence is greener than the other. Do what you are passionate about. That's my advice to people that are wondering.
All right, so it's important for us to go on another quick break. And when we return, we still have Dr. Gloria Edozien in the building. Stay with us. All right, many thanks for staying with us. The show is still Real Talk with Kike, and today we'll be getting educated by Dr. Gloria Edozien on skills advancement in today's changing world. You know, so coming to you, please tell me and pronounce the last name properly.
Yeah.
All right, many thanks, Glory. You know, so, you know, listening to you, I think it's better for us to just go into digital right now. You know, I know video conferencing and virtual recruitment have been the order of the day since the pandemic kicked in last year. So many are gradually adopting to that, really, but some are still struggling with it. So how can recruiters get the right fit given these constraints, and many people are still struggling with digital, basically?
So, I mean, it's a tough question to answer, because I don't really think that the onus is on the recruiter per se. I think it is on the job seeker to make sure that you have all the digital requirements to be able to compete in this new world. So I don't know that it's the recruiter that needs to do that, but the job seeker. So for example, if you know you have an interview coming up, make sure you're in a place that has, you know, reliable internet or reliable electricity that powers that internet. Those kind of things. Make sure that, you know, you're in a well-lit room. Make sure you are properly dressed. All of those things, I think, is on the onus of the job seeker, not the recruiter.
Now I'm going to take you back to women empowerment. When it comes to skills acquisition, how are your own programs? I'm talking about you now, Glory. How are your programs, you know, empowering women? Can you just take us through from stage to stage what exactly you do so that our viewers can benefit from this?
Fantastic. That's an excellent question. So for us, I run something called 95 Chick. 95 Chick is a career development hub for Africa's most ambitious women. And what we do is we provide them with savvy career resources. Now what that means in everyday English is that we provide them with resources that are required to excel in their careers. So for example, this month we had something called the Brag Month, where we are teaching women how to be visible internally. We've also had, you know, courses on how to find a mentor. In fact, we had a mentor pitch competition where we were matching career women with mentors with over 20 years of experience so that they could help them with career advancement. You know, we've done things around how to create your CV, how to make over your LinkedIn profile, how to get a promotion. We brought different executives in and to speak to us about what do they look out for when they are promoting staff in the office. We've had skills on leadership. So, I mean, in the last 4 or 5 years, we've trained over 700 women in different career development topics.
That's amazing. Thank you.
Thank you very much for
Thank
that.
you.
But, you've just spoken about what you've done so far. I'm sure our viewers will be in awe of what you've done so far, but how can they further participate in future or very in the near future conferences or trainings that you might have?
So for us, it's just
Visibility again for you. So.
Yeah, so I think for us, it's about following our social media pages. So at 9 to 5 Chick, and all on our social media pages, we always have all our dossier of career development opportunities that are coming up, whether it's a mentor pitch competition. Also following Inspired by Glory, there I showcase all the courses I have on LinkedIn and visibility as well.
All right, many thanks for that. I think this might be our last question before we go into the next segment. But before then, I should ask that unemployment stands at 32.5%, while over 23 million Nigerians with skills and applicable knowledge are unemployed, so to speak. So is our challenge the lack of skills or lack of creation or no creation of jobs, basically?
So I think it's probably a bit of both.
Okay.
Right? So we definitely need more jobs because we have a burgeoning youth population.
True.
So we definitely need more jobs. But we also need jobs along the cadre. So from low skill to high skill, blue collar, white collar jobs for the different types of youth that we have. But we also need an upskilling as well, right? So a lot of people that are leaving university now may feel that they are not equipped to handle the different issues that happen in the workforce as well. So we also need an upskilling as well, especially around vocational skills. I think that there is a clear gap in Nigeria around vocational skills, and that is something that, should be looked into.
Oh, okay.
So you want to take a question?
Yeah, I thought.
No,
okay,
go ahead,
okay,
go ahead.
fine. I was going to ask you, like I'm asking you right now, how do we draw a clear line between skills acquisition and empowerment? I know they're interwoven, but how do we draw a line between both? I want to know.
So first, I guess my question is why are we trying to draw the line in between both?
Okay.
But my takeaway from this really is this, right? A lot of times when people do empowerment, they're giving money. With skill acquisition, it's about the skills that I will use for tomorrow, next tomorrow,
And for the future. For the future.
Exactly.
Yes.
So exactly. So it's not about giving people Kike na pep and things like that, and then Kike na pep breaks down and they just leave it at the side of the road. But if you teach that person maybe how to do shoes, how to become a carpenter,
it's more like teaching a man to fish instead of giving him fish all the time.
So Glory, tell me, why is it that there seems to be for lack of a better word, ignorance on the part of the government to differentiate this two and see the need to bring about the skill acquisition, the actual skill acquisition that we need to grow the economy and the manpower that we need in this country?
All right, before you answer the question, we have a caller from Victoria Island, Boniface. Yeah, Boniface, welcome on the show. Many thanks for calling. What's your perspective of the topic at hand? Hi, Boniface, please go ahead.
Hello, Boniface.
All right, apologies, we can't get that. Yeah. Sorry, Boniface. Yeah.
So talk to us, talk to the government, and talk to the people that are being issued this
Don't mind myself with that logo.
See, I really want you to, because we can't keep having entrepreneurs, coaches like you come here and talk all beautiful, and then the actual people whom are looked up to, the government themselves, when they come to do what we call coaching or skill acquisition, we see Keke na pep, we see blender, we see grinding machine. So
okay, so somebody once told me this analogy that if you have a basket of apples and every time you take an apple from it, the apple is rotten. Is it the apple's problem or is it the basket that has an issue? And I think this is the problem with Nigeria. For too long, we keep saying our leaders are bad, We Nigerians, we have issues.
Thank you.
We do.
we have issues.
I agree.
So
it's an individual thing.
Exactly. So it's not the case of the apples we are picking are bad. The baskets, we need to do something of the baskets. and deal with the apples in the basket. So I don't know whether I want to make an appeal to government or minister or anything. I think Nigerians really need to look inwards and fix ourselves.
I love that submission from you. Many thanks, Dr. Glory Edozien. We are so glad to have you on the show today. I pronounced it myself properly, guys. My viewers, you know that I bother people's name, but I know they're very understanding of that. Many thanks for creating time to be on today. But we're not letting you go because you will be joining us on what affects us all, which is a trending story. And the first trending story that caught our attention a few days ago was Nigerian Twitter and Ghana Twitter space, which is buzzing right now over the announcement of Twitter CEO Jack that the company is now has a continent headquarter in Ghana, and there are quite a number of comments on that. A lot of people are saying that why Ghana? Why not Nigeria? Like I was telling maybe one of our co-hosts before we went on break that, you know, it's so funny. When I saw this yesterday, I felt like in Nigeria, we have over 33.1, I hope I'm correct with the statistics, active social users and we only have 31.1 people in terms of population in Ghana. I can't marry both. How did they get? Is it the ease of doing business that we don't know, that we lack in Nigeria, or help me fill in this place? Gloria,
so I think it's. I mean, when I heard the news, I actually really felt sad. I mean, you know, plus our government, our own personal issues that is contributing to it, our work ethic as Nigerians, you know, all of these things is creating a reputation that is now having impact. You know, and the impact, we don't like it. So just coming, in fact, I was talking to my mom the other day, and my mom was talking about how many years ago we had Ghana Must Go. Do you understand? You know, and now all of these things are happening, and I think really Nigerians, we need to do some self-reflection. It's not about shouting on Twitter and saying, oh, why are they? Look at ShopRite. Look at what happened when, you know, during the NSAS protest and everything. A lot of entrepreneurs lost businesses. They lost millions. You know, who is replacing that for them? All these people do investments because they want to make money.
Absolutely.
They are not looking at Nigeria's face. Do you understand? So you're gonna go to the country that will be more profitable for you. I mean, it's sad, but this is the life we're living.
For me, it's absolutely on the ease of doing business. Nobody wants to go to a country where North doesn't want to, you know, stick with the South, or the South doesn't want to stick with the West. Nobody wants to go to a country that's ravaged by terrorism, banditry, kidnapping, and all sorts. And then where the government itself is focused on stifling thriving business and small businesses, they want to look at the economy, the strength of small and medium enterprises and how they grow. So for me, yes, I'd say congratulations to Jack Dorsey. Ghana might just be the place for you to. So Nigeria should warm up and maybe take second place for Twitter.
All right.
In all of this, I don't take the blame away from the government. It borders on leadership. If you have good leadership, then you get things going for you. Ghana got it right when Rawlings came in and wiped out all the old leaders who they knew well.
Anyway.
Do you understand? Yes. Do you understand? And if you're talking about the population of Ghana compared to Nigeria, I mean, it's so far apart. We're talking about a country who is probably, Ghana is probably twice the size of Lagos in population. Do you understand? You know, so all of this, our government have not put us. Yes, Nigerians have a part to play in all of this. I agree. The question is, what has the country done for Nigerians?
All right.
What has the country done for
All right,
Nigerians?
That's not what your country can do for you.
No, that's
Oh, what
America.
can you do for your
That is
country?
America.
All right, many
What's
thanks
next?
for that. I think the next story that caught our attention was that of Chimamanda.
Oh, Chimamanda, yes.
Talking about feminism, which you mentioned earlier when I told you that we're
What did she
coming
say?
back straight to that conversation. So there was an
Chimamanda.
old video that came back trending now, you know, thanks to digital technology, you know, anything can be brought back to
The internet never forgets.
Exactly. So she said that this is what feminism, you know, people hide under feminism to be wicked, especially women, you know, that there are quite a number of people who are doing a lot of ill things and they hide under feminism. What's your take on that, especially knowing that people have redefined the word feminism to suit them?
honestly, I don't know
Girl
if
power.
you like my take on it. So my take on it is, what is feminism to you? And just face your front. Like, really
Focus your
simply,
focus.
Focus on your focus, right? Like, I've heard so many things. People say, oh, women are women's own worst enemy and everything. I will be very honest. In my career, women have been instrumental and have been very, very, very helpful. I've had bosses that were mean, that were both male and female. So I think let us focus on what feminism is. It is about equality, equality of the sexes. It is not about wickedness. It is not about who is doing who. It is not about communication at home, because that's another kind of wrong. People say if you're a feminist, you can't marry, you can't this, you can't that. Let us focus on what feminism is, please.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, for me, that video clip and that trend, or that story trending, I'll take it from Chimamanda's angle or side. You know, before now, Chimamanda was viewed as a symbol of feminism, and people had, you know, also called her out on social media to say, oh, you are propagating feminism and all of that, women power and all of that. So I think this was like, oh, okay, I've had time to look into the people I'm mentoring, and I've really seen that there needs to be, there's a need for some checks. And that's why she decided to call out the people who were being feminist rather wrongly. You know, that it's girl power, yes, but it's not wickedness. It's about equitable
What she's
justice.
saying that we should not use feminism to justify wickedness.
Wickedness, yes.
Should not use feminism to justify wickedness.
Yes.
Yeah. What's your take? Efo?
I think it really depends on what feminism means to every other woman. You know, just like you said, we're talking about feminism in terms of equality. Equality, fairness. I mean, let's have a just world, you understand, so that we're male and female at par with each other, and together we build a better world. That's me. Oh, of course I am. Of course I am.
All right. Let me use this opportunity to give our beautiful guest an open mic. You know, what's going to be your last comment or question before we let you go? Promote yourself, promote your brand, anything. Yes. Please follow 9 to 5 Chi and Inspired by Gloria. Let me allow you to take the table.
First of all, I want to say thank you for such an amazing, fun conversation. I had a blast being here, so thank you very much. I'd like to say, if you're a woman out there and you're trying to build visibility in your career, it's your time to shine. You own your career. You are the CEO of your career, and you should be strategic about building visibility on your career. And if you're looking for help in that, I can help. At Inspired by Glory is the place to be.
All right, that's the place to be, and that's where we draw the curtain for the show today. So we'll come your way next week. All right, let me allow you have the last one. What's your last one for today? With everything Gloria have said, what's your takeaway from today's show?
Kike was going to jump us because we're not inspired by glory. But right now I'm inspired by glory. I'm really inspired, and I'd follow you all the way. Yes, well, it's been a wonderful show for me. I think so far so good. Kike, we've talked about empowerment, and I just look forward to getting to see how she does what she's doing, you know, in future. I'd like to encourage Nigerians that, look, Jack Dorsey's story, it really hit Kike, and the place it hurt her so much she couldn't wrap her head around it. We talked about it just before the show. We had a whole show before this show on that one, and she wasn't really happy. But yes, it's something for Nigerians to reflect on, that we need to get back to being the giant of Africa. We really need to get that boot back. Nigeria, you need to put your foot on the ground and be the giants that you truly are. That's what
All right,
So for me, Glory, it was really nice having you on our program.
Thank you.
And I was looking at Inspired by Glory Academy. So I'm like, okay, this academy, has it taken off? Is it taking off, or when is it going to take off? You know, we're looking forward to people like you really helping a lot of Nigerians, you know, get up. And let's just, we have a great country in our hands. You know, it's unfortunate the things we have to go through now, but they always say it's darkest before dawn. And I'm hoping that this is our darkest hour before dawn, because when you get down, the only way to go is up. You know, so I'm hoping that the likes of you and the rest of us,
all
like
of us
Kike,
together.
High five.
you
Do it in
know.
a high five way. In a high five.
All right, guys, many thanks for that. My co-hosts, they've been a delight, being on this platform. And of course, very opinionated co-hosts, I must emphasize. And of course, we had Dr. Gloria Edozien. Dr. Gloria Edozien on the show. Another additional spark that was on the platform today. And I'm very sure our viewers have been blessed with a lot of nuggets that she's been able to share with us today. So we'll come your way Thursday. Please keep being real, and bye now.
Bye. See you Thursday.